Now I know what some of you are thinking.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
Now, I know what you're all thinking.
I know what you're thinking.
Now, I know what a lot of you are probably thinking right now.
Hello and good day. My name is Sam, aka Professor Equine, for those of you within the Brony community. What I'm here to talk about today is a bit of a reaction that I've gotten from my students regarding my research of the Brony community. They have many questions about it, so I've created this presentation to hopefully alleviate fears and various myths about the Brony community for people who are not within said community. That is why this piece is titled The Myth About Bronies, or why a bunch of grown men liking My Little Pony aren't as creepy as you think. So that begs the first question: what is a Brony? There are various definitions of what a Brony is, but the general consensus is a Brony is a male fan of the show, usually aged 15 and up, who are into My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Now, there are various discrepancies. Some female fans of the show also like to consider themselves Bronies. However, there are a few who do like to consider themselves separated through gender and consider themselves Pegasisters. But when most people hear the term Brony and first learn about what a Brony is, they have this general reaction. They start to wonder what it is that might be wrong with grown men liking a show that is supposed to be catered for little girls. They may wonder, are they perverts? Are they looking to molest children? Did they go to Penn State? They might not understand entirely. So in order to get that understanding, we need to start at the beginning. So we have to go back to the driving force of this new remake of My Little Pony. Enter Lauren Faust. She is a world-class animator. She was one of the creative forces behind Foster's Imaginary Friends, and another show that gathered a large male audience, even though it was a show intended for girls, the Powerpuff Girls. So she's no stranger to gathering a wide audience when creating a cartoon series that may be catered to a specific demographic. But that may not create a good understanding to people outside of the fandom as to why grown men like this show. So what I've done is that I've created a few suppositions as to why there's a mass appeal of male fans to this show that is supposed to be for little girls. First and foremost, and this is probably Faust's bread and butter, she attacks the idea of social generalization. Now, social generalization is the idea that little boys are supposed to play with guns and trucks, and little girls are supposed to play with ponies and Barbies. She doesn't believe that in the way that she presents her shows, and doesn't include very many aspects that reinforce gender social stereotypes. Even though there are aspects of the show that do include fashion and going to the Grand Galloping Gala or enjoying various tea parties, they are by and large a very small fraction of the show. What actually drives, in my opinion, a number of fans to the show are the characters themselves. In most episodes, the characters will have issues, just like in any other television program, except they run a little bit deeper than your typical little girl show. Within most shows catered to that demographic, usually the problem can be solved with a brand new dress or a makeover. However, in this program, that's not necessarily the case to solve anything. A couple very good examples of this would be this character here, Applejack. She is an apple farmer, and one season she had to harvest all the apples by herself, and this led her to have massive overexhaustion. It became a problem for the town because she had other duties for the town, but she could not perform them because of her being overexhausted, and it almost destroyed the town. Another classic example is Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie is a character who loves to throw parties, and one time she threw a party and none of her friends came who were invited, and she slipped into a depression, and she started talking to inanimate objects, and then giving the inanimate objects personalities of their own. That's something you really wouldn't see in any other typical little girl show, and most infamously is Twilight Sparkle. In a recent episode in the second season, Twilight Sparkle, who is considered the scholar of the group, has to give reports about friendships and friendship problems. However, she had a deadline in her head that she thought she had to meet and could not find a friendship problem. So she took it upon herself to create a friendship problem and in turn almost destroyed the entire town, like so many of these other issues that have presented. A second thing that is quite remarkable about the show that probably does appeal to a lot of male fans is the fact that it uses a lot of pop culture references, both outside in the advertising through the Hub Network and within the show internally. Classic cases are the Hub has parodied such movies as Bridesmaids and Poltergeist in their advertising billboards across the country. Now, within the program itself, there are many pop culture references to various movies such as Star Wars, Gone with the Wind, and most recently, The Big Lebowski. Now, some of this imagery can create an idea for those of you who may not understand the fandom to kind of get where it's coming from and why fans, especially male fans, are starting to get into the show. But sometimes pictures just don't justify it. So what I've done is I've taken a few clips from the show that don't exactly depict a prototypical show for little girls.
I sure do look funny.
Hey Twilight, what's soaking wet and clueless? Fluttershy, I've had just about enough. Your face! Oh, they're not so bad. Clock is ticking, Twilight. Clock is ticking. Why? I am not whining. I am complaining. Do you want to hear whining? This is whining. Oh, it's hard as it's your time. Honestly, your overreaction.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, listen to me. I don't even know what I'm supposed to swallow in. I've got a bad I'm going to love it.
So, as you can see from those clips, that there are aspects of the show that really aren't prototypical of a little girl's cartoon. But what really interests me about this phenomenon is the community itself. Like most fan communities, they do engage in some of the normal activities, such as creating artwork like this stained glass piece, or life-size plushies of various characters. Some will also engage in cosplay, which is the idea of dressing up as various characters within a show and then acting those parts out, usually within a convention or online role-playing. Some will actually take various songs from the program and remix it to their liking through different genres, such from classical to dubstep. And some will actually write fan fictions, which is the idea of taking characters from a show and putting them in situations that they might not normally be in. But what truly fascinates me about this group that stands them out from a typical fan community is their united purpose. Within most fan communities, there will always be divisions, sort of infighting about various aspects of different things within a fan community or a show's canon. Bronies, from what I've observed, do not really engage in this kind of behavior. They take that message of friendship that is present throughout the entire show and do something with it. And that's what really struck me as fascinating about this group. Traditionally, whenever a fan community gets involved, they're mainly self-centered. But when a good example is when you have an internet agitator or troll try to stir up anger or flame wars within a fan community, it generally starts a lot of flame war and a lot of hate brewing within said community. Bronies don't do that. As a matter of fact, they usually have response pieces like this that generally accept that troll and acknowledge that, look, we know you're trying to cause trouble and grief, but we accept you for who you are, even though we don't agree with you. And that's one thing, when you take that message of friendship and tolerance into the internet. But what makes it even more fascinating is that they take that message of friendship and take it out into the community. It started with Lauren Faust, who did a charity auction for earthquake relief for Japan earlier this year, and a couple of bronies kind of got the idea from that to start doing things within our own community and being proactive. Broniesforgood.org is a wonderful website that shows how to start blood drives and charity drives, and has various drives of their own. As a matter of fact, starting this month, they started Operation Winter Wrap-Up, which is a program designed to make sure that children this holiday season get something that under their tree, or at least a warm coat, so that they feel a little bit of love during this holiday season. Additionally, some bronies have teamed up with Your Siblings, which is a humanitarian organization who presents humanitarian aid and food to less developed countries. Now, all of this is what separates the brony from the common fandom. It's not typical to see a Star Wars fan go out and do such things, at least not as common as what you see within the brony community. But if what I've said here today has not swayed you in any way to at least not think that they're as creepy as you believe, or maybe they're actually a decent bunch of people, the bronies really only have one response to that if you still think there might be something wrong with them. And that is that haters are going to hate. They realize that not everyone's going to understand them or get why they really enjoy the show. Common response that I have gotten from a number of bronies that I've seen in various meetups is they understand why people don't get them, but the only response is watch an episode or two of the show. If you don't like it after watching a couple episodes, then you have a right to complain. If not, and you have yet to watch an episode, then you're just being prejudiced, which is something that we all strive to eliminate. So that is their argument, to not have this vicious prejudice against them, that there's something wrong with them. And by giving them the chance, and to at least talk to them or find some sort of understanding behind why they are such of a community, might actually lead to a greater planet. Thank you.
我先有一件事啊，就是不要对我抱太大希望。因为
Okay, easy, go. You can do it.
Hi there guys, my name is Ma Miangyu and my English name is Magia Santopeta.
Magia Santopeta, that is a long name. Okay, go on.
Some of you guys have asked me about how to use my English name. In fact, I don't know either. So I have to follow Baidu translation's pronunciation.
Okay.
And now I want to talk about my last name of my English name. My last name is Senapeta. It comes from this movie. Wait.
Okay, so his last name comes from this movie, Senopeta, right?
Yeah.
Comes from this movie. That's what movie is it?
This movie, the main characters are Senapeta suffixes, so I use Senapeta as my last name.
Okay.
Have you guys know about this?
No, Senapeta is the main character's name, or the main character's name are Senapeta, right? Okay, 主要角色的名字就是他，对吧？主要角色名字跟他一样。OK， go on.
And the reel is made by Blue Sky Studios.
工作室 studio.
Blue Sky.
Yes, Blue Sky Studios.
This is the logo of the studios.
Okay, logo.
Deja vu, guys.
Yes. Go on.
And this studio also have a famous movie, Passage.
SH, what is it?
冰河世界
That is famous. That is world famous. Go on.
And now the most important that I want to say is My Little Pony.
Why? My Little Pony, it is famous and it is his favorite, right? Yeah. Okay, go on.
My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is the first generation of My Little Pony. It's made by Hasbro.
Slow down. 那这就更好了。
Okay, it's made by Hasbro Studios, and the fourth generation's creator is Lauren Faust. This is Hasbro Studios logo.
Is that logo?
国塔游戏
Logo, right?
Hasbro Studios.
Hasbro Studios logo, right? 好，依然
This
不能 logo 是吧
is Lauren Faust OC.
？OK。好，那我们看一下介绍，看能看到吗 ？Friendship is magic. Is the fourth generation of My Little Pony. 好，是 My Little， 它是对 My Little Pony 的介绍，大家看到吗 ？Friendship is magic 是个名字吧，对吧？好，它是个什么？它是第四代了 ，fourth generation 叫第四代 of My Little Pony 是这个产品的第四代作品的一件，对吧？好 ，It is made by Hasbro Studios 是这个工作室怎么着呢？创作的。And the first generation's creator is Lauren Faust 第四代的创作者叫 Lauren Faust right? Okay, go on.
Some of you have asked me about why I love MLP so much.
Yes.
There are two important reasons. The first one is the main character's truly friendship, and the other one is the harmonious society. That's why I love so much.
OK. 啊，你应该把那个上面那个回应，让大家回复一下，回应你啊。What is it? 好。So some of you have asked him why he loved MLP so much. Here are two most important reasons. First one is the main character's truly friendship. The other reason about it is the harmonious society. You know harmonious society? Harmonious. So we are living in a harmonious society. 什么叫 harmonious 啊？和谐社会，对，和谐温馨的场景里边到底都是这种，对吧？好 ，and that's why he loved this movie so much. Okay, go on.
It's not a movie, but also a Alpha EP is made by Jeff Rowe. I think the epic music tells something about the princesses.
Princess, you know what is princess? Princesses. There are many princesses in the movie. Princess, pony princess 叫什么呢？公主，马公主。小马。Okay. Okay, go on. Go on.
Now I want to say thanks to our princesses because they created harmony for all the land. Our princesses.
Okay. I want to say thanks to
苏波赛亚人。
喂。
只能这么录了。我做这个视频其实是有几个原因的。第一个主要就是上个月的时候，在刷贴吧的时候，才知道小马要完结了，是在第9批，2019年应该是要完结了。我发现，在完结之前，我却没有对马天做出什么贡献，然后我就决定去做这个视频。我当时其实也想了一段时间，主要就是，就是想在那个小马结束前吧，去在那个比较公开的场合去说一些关于小马的事情，然后就做关于这个幻灯，然后去在班里去说了一下。其实我入马坑其实也没多长时间，去年刚入马坑，当时是在安吧里头看到一个那个叫谁来着？是说那个啥吧，让我不是他当时是在发帖那个当时是说的，其实发帖挺有意思，就是里头发一个本子图片，我一看挺新奇，什么鬼，小马是吗？然后就感觉有意思，就看了之后就入坑了。入坑之后，我其实不知道小马什么时候完结，然后我也不知道，当时是不知道小马什么时候不知道什么时候完结。当时是上初3，然后整个初3上半学年都去看了，把小马前6季给刷完了。刷完了小马6季，刷完6季之后我就去，刷完6季，就是继续去跟第7季的时候，就是最近才知道那个19年小马可能就完结了。然后听到这个，其实我的内心其实也不是很高兴的，毕竟我刚入马坑才没多长时间，而且现在是高中，正忙的，而且19年完结，我也没法在高考结束的时候继续去跟小马。其实这也很那啥吧，也是比较伤心的。其实小马我其实是能等，但是小马他确实等不了了，他已经要完结了，马上就要完结了，已经要完结了，也是没办法的，所以我去做一个关于这个视频吧，也希望你们能喜欢。有这样，谢谢。
Okay, go.
Did you mess up?
Go, I got it. It's fine.
All about me. My name is Charles Silva, and this is my epic collection of hats and picture on it.
I took that picture.
Which one? Oh yeah, you did. I was wearing your hat actually. That's not mine. And that little Russian hat one. That was when I was at Colorado. I went for a band trip. And it's funny because I'm wearing a red shirt that has American Eagle with a Russian hat that has a communist sign on top. That's my little pig hat I had on the left bottom is a pig hat I wore. I don't know, I found it on the ground. We were having our band thing last year. And I just found it and I decided to wear it just to take a goofy picture. So anyway, this is the day I was born. I was born on April 1st, 1994. And yes, I was born on April Fool's Day. I gotta remind people that before it comes up because then people won't think it was my birthday. So nothing really happened that day except for April Fool's Day, but can't really read that. Yeah, I know it's a few days later was the last day Kurt Cobain was found alive. He's the singer of the band Nirvana. If you don't know that, but you should know it because Nirvana is awesome. Okay, my first name is Shaw, and it's an old English name. It's supposed to be like a shrub or a piece of wood. And it's really ironic because my last name is actually in Portuguese, it means wood too. So I was like, what the heck? And my
Woodward.
middle name Dwayne. I haven't seen. There's no description on that one yet. Nameless when Epic Mealtime. It's a YouTube series. It's on YouTube. But anyway, my favorite foods are chicken because I really love chicken, and my favorite dessert is ice cream and cake. Yummy. Is anyone here hungry yet?
I know I am.
So this is what I'm recording for. This is the big thing. So I found it's kind of a tradition, I think, to these things. It's like people on the internet are called Bronies. They're people that like My Little Pony. And, the Friendship of Magic is Magic series because the other ones aren't as good. They're too girly. But anyway, this is actually a really good series. This is something that, it's like old cartoons like Tom and Jerry and stuff. Well, not really exactly like it.
It's more like SpongeBob for a new generation.
Yeah, it's a really well constructed cartoon. It's not like it doesn't bring the intelligence down to a 5-year-old type cartoon. It's actually it can go all around. It's like even the creator of it, Lauren Faust or Faust, whatever. She's the one that made Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home, and she said that she wanted to make these series more around like for the whole audience because because little children want their parents to be watching the cartoon with them. Anyway, I'm going to go on with this. What does it say? Okay, well, one thing you'd never guess is that a 17-year-old male would like this show. That was intended for little girls. But there's actually, if you check the YouTube statistics on one of these episodes, there's at least people my age and higher actually like this cartoon. They watch it more than I do, or just as much, whatever. And I have to say, I love My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And that's the only generation that I like. And it says at the bottom, every true Brony must admit to his class or work presentation, so why not? Because everyone does when they get that chance. They see it on YouTube, or I do at least. There's little Brony symbols at the bottom. And the one in the background is my favorite pony, but it's a background one. It's not one of the main ones.
Final scratch.
So anyway, this is my favorite quote. I got this from Civilization 5. It's a game, but it's really awesome. It's one death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic. That's by Joseph Stalin, and it makes so much sense because I get it. I'm sure you get it. This is my favorite holiday. Of course, it's Christmas. I don't know if anyone would be surprised by that. It's my favorite holiday because you get to get presents and stuff. But how I celebrate it, I just sit in a chair in front of a TV with the soda in one hand and the Xbox controller in the other hand. Like a boss. Future plans, I guess I'm deciding to go to Lamar in Beaumont and found a really nice digital graphic design class. So that's what I wanted to be when I grow up. And so it says, remember me. It's kind of hard to read on this one. It says, well, after this presentation, I wouldn't doubt that if there was something that you'd remember me by, it'd be like that guy, that 17-year-old likes My Little Pony. Friendship is Magic. But I don't really care because I'm proud to be a Brony. So is there a problem with that?
Problem.
You can see it's like a combination between bro and pony, so it's like Brony. But it's like people who like My Little Pony. See? And it's like, I like that Applejack one up there. If you don't know what it is. It's the orange pony. It says, don't like me watching ponies? Deal with it.
Problem.
Anyway. Also, at the bottom, it says, I don't have any pictures of like bandery thing to have the most fun of, which is kind of weird. But I did have a little picture of Pinkie Pie, the pink pony down there, obviously, with the trombone. And it just kind of symbolizes the band thing because I'm a trombone player too. And let me just explain the two pictures at the bottom there. Just explain pretty much my love for music and just playing for the band. So yeah. And that's my presentation. I hope you all liked it.
Did you miss one?
Picture it. A young college Ryan Garth. He just got an interesting message from a friend of his about a new show. Little did he know it would change his life in the most unusual way. We are about to enter the Brony. Well, let's dissect the word real quick. Brony comes from the combination of the words bro, basically meaning man, and pony. Well, you know what a pony is. Coming up with Brony. Brony. A Brony is a gentleman that likes My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And hear me out. In all honesty, this show really is. Let me take you back in time to explain exactly where all this started. The year is 1981. Hasbro, maker of toys such as Transformers and G.I. Joe, are approached by this woman, Bonnie Shirley. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name, but she wants Hasbro to create a new line of toys based on horses. Therefore, My Little Pony is born. They finally get the patent in 1983, and the line comes out. Well, Hasbro needs to find a way to market this. It's the 80s. What's the best way to market something? Cartoons. Therefore, My Little Pony, the cartoon show, came out. It ran from 1986 to 1987. Now let's fast forward to the year 2010. Discovery Kids gets bought out by Hasbro, and they start a new channel called The Hub. Well, The Hub needs to make new cartoons. Enter Lauren Faust, a woman who happens to be my age. Also, she's the art director for such cartoons as The Powerpuff Girls and Foster Home for Imaginary Friends, two very great shows with very strong female characters. She wanted to make her own line of toys and wanted to make her own show, but they offered her something better, My Little Pony. She came up with My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Now let's look at the characters. We have Twilight Sparkle, the intellectual introvert. Applejack, the hard-working country girl. Fluttershy, the cripplingly shy animal lover. Rarity, the drama queen fashionista. Rainbow Dash, the jock. And Pinkie Pie, well, she's just Pinkie Pie. Hard to explain her. She's the oddball that everybody seems to love because she's just so lovely. The adventures follow these 6 very different personalities through, so far we're in the season, we're almost the end of season 2. These characters are so diverse, they each individually suffer a nervous breakdown throughout the show. Now, with a creative genius like Lauren Faust, a new channel that was willing to bring about something so revolutionary, and great, strong characters, all voice acted very well, it was a perfect storm to start a community of not just girls, but guys who found these ponies actually represented them too. You have people from all walks of life who come together over a show basically for little girls. So, in conclusion, I'd just like to say, my name is Brian Gardner, and I'm a Brony.
You got it recording? It's recording? Okay. Hello. Oh, you asked the wrong person. No, that's great. Dear Lord, what have I got myself into? I'm not sorry.
Hey, you just sat behind the kid going with the boat.
I know, I noticed that. This visual aid.
It's in case you don't like him, you can grab it.
Anytime you write anything bad, though.
He's going to do the best grab and they go, fuck.
There we go. Stay here, all right. You're not coming out.
I love making these shells.
I don't understand people that have the patience to stop with M&M.
Not killed,
Not even heard of sucking on to M&M.
I'm like, wow. Wait for it. Oh my goodness. Questions, comments, laughter, all that. Hold on, because I'm going to have to see for this. I've timed myself 4 or 5 times. Only have about 4 or 5 seconds leeway at the end. I'm fully expecting to go over time. All right.
I have faith in you.
He's not going to start, so you start. So. All right. I'm fairly certain none of you guys are ever going to take me seriously again after I'm finished with my presentation today, but I'm going to share with you a TV show that I've come to like a whole lot over the past couple of months, and I'm going to share with you today how the popularity of this show exploded over the internet, how the producers of the show immortalized themselves to the fans of the show itself, and of course why the show itself is so freaking awesome. It's painful for me to admit any credibility with any of this whatsoever, but I have been watching the show since March, and I've been an internet, nerd for the past 5 or 6 years. I really encourage you guys to go check this show out yourselves. YouTube has all 26 episodes in 1080p ultra high definition for free to watch, maybe by yourself or with your kids. Hint, hint. And the show I am talking about is none other than My Little Pony. Yeah, 4chan, worst place on the internet anywhere. Fox News, July 20th, 2011, raunchy, nastiest place on the internet. 4chan actually adopted My Little Pony as an anti-mascot because My Little Pony basically stands for friendship, love, kindness, tolerance, and all that other stuff. 4chan hates that. They love corrupting that kind of stuff. And basically, 4chan was the one that started the whole thing. Ironically, now since everybody loves My Little Pony and there's just extremist fans from everywhere, they can't stand it anymore. So they're like, screw My Little Pony. The next part I'm talking about here, it actually has its roots in Japanese linguistics. Ten karakaratekuru, which means to come down from the heaven associated with the lower folk. That's basically what Lauren Faust, the producer of the show, did. She actually one-on-one Q&A'd with some of her fans instead of just sitting up high and releasing press releases every now and again, like most shows do. As you can see here, this poor little pony is cross-eyed as can be, and that was actually either a joke by an animator or an accident. She was only in a background scene for about 2 seconds. Someone spotted her. She told, or whoever it was, told the internet about it, and her popularity exploded. Ironically, this cross-eyed pony is like one of the most favorite characters of the fandom out there. It's highly ironic. Also, Lauren Faust immediately enamored herself with her fans because she defended them. All right, and someone actually asked her how did it feel to know that the show she created for little kids was obsessed over by sexually repressed man children. Not me. She said right here, I feel that the people who call them that are ignorant assholes. And she created the show for everybody to watch, including male parents with their daughters, Rob. And I found that actually on a blog post on July 20th, 2011, and this is actually a screenshot of the thing itself. What's highly weird is that I've noticed as the show has progressed, there's been a huge amount of fan service in the TV show, which is kind of weird, I'm not going to lie. But the fans actually spoke, and on a survey, 3,000 people, and they actually said that the three main interesting points of the show were the characters, the story, the art and animation, and the online community itself. As you can see down here, this tiny little sliver of the pie chart is actually returning fans. So this show has recruited basically new blood from the ground up. And the reason that that percentage is so very small is because, as you can see here, the overwhelming majority of the fandom is male. So don't think I'm a weirdo. We got about 3,000 of 520, which is a humongous. That's just for the people that were surveyed. Most of them are over the age of 20 years old. Not gonna lie. She also created this show to be anti-girly. You can see here this pony in this particular episode partially went insane because she thought that her friends had ousted her from the group. As you can see here, she started talking to inanimate objects. You would think for a girl show that this is not the norm, but that's not so, because violence and danger is not that unknown in the show. The reason why is that they've been attacked on 2 separate occasions by giant fire-breathing dragons. They've been attacked by a manticore. They've almost had the land plunged into eternal darkness by an evil ruler. One of them was actually turned to stone by a cockatrice. One of them was almost turned to stone by the same cockatrice. They were attacked by a giant four-headed hydra. They were also attacked by a giant bear. And as you can see, the fandom just gets really out there, like wild out there. I'm not kidding. There have been some amazing things out there. I can't believe it. Someone actually made a video game modification that featured My Little Pony content to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And as you can see here, there's just so much that the fandom has to offer. It's ridiculous. Anyway, my conclusion, thank y'all for not chasing me off the stage here for my presentation. But in review, I've covered why the fandom itself was started, how the producers of the show actually, immortalize themselves with their fans, and of course, how the show itself is so freaking awesome. In conclusion, that's pretty much it, and that is my presentation. I want to request one thing, and that is what was presented in this classroom stays in this classroom. That's actually pretty much it. I'm getting the hell out of here. Later. Questions? Yeah. Or not personally, no. But yeah, I've been there before.
Where's flash drive?
Huh?
So where can we find this on YouTube?
All 26 episodes in 1080p no less, which is the highest definition you can get, are available for free to watch on YouTube, except for maybe the one commercial that shows the front. And
male fans of My Little Pony than female fans. Why is that? You're probably also wondering, what is a Brony exactly? Well, a Brony is a male fan of My Little Pony, or it's also can be a female fan, but they mostly call themselves Pegasisters. To understand why the Bronies like this show, we will first have to go back to their history, all the way back to 2010. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic aired on October 2010 on the Hub. It was developed by Lauren Faust, previously known for her work on the Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. This is there is the real picture of her, and that is the fan-based version of her pony. My Little Pony currently has 52 episodes aired and 63 as of season 3. It has over 32 songs, all written and composed by Daniel Ingram. That again is the real-life version of him and the fan-based Pony Fun version of him. The show based its morals all on friendship and other learning lessons. This is one of the lessons you can learn from the show.
you either way.
Now, how did the entire Brony thing get started? 4chan, the most dangerous site on the internet. Known for image boards, immaturity, craziness, and overall insanity. It first got started when Cartoon Brew put up a document entitled The End of the Creative-Driven Era in TV Animation, written by Emid Amandi. It stated that most cartoon shows now are only there to sell the toys. At the end of the day, the final word was, at the end of the day, TV animation isn't going anywhere. That one sentence sparked an entire war on 4chan. It soon found its way to the cartoon board of 4chan, and they had a very lengthy discussion. What happened in the end was bans happened, uncontrollableness, and eventually, whenever mods are known on 4chan as the people who run the entire site. Whenever they're asleep, they do post ponies because you could not, or else you would be banned from the site. It escalated quickly on February 10th when instant bans were always happening. It reached its peak on April 5th, 2010, when everything was going to chaos and they shut down the entire site to prevent anything. What then happened was the people who got banned started their own network called PonyChan, and pretty soon Equestria Daily soon popped up. That is a news site for all things related to My Little Pony, from merchandise to news for the show, fan bait, music, all kinds of other things. That is the amount of posts daily now. It's in the tens of thousands. Some fun little facts of the 4chan war. Over 200 posts were being made each day until the banning started happening. Then it jumped to 400 plus. People who hated the ponies were calling Bronies the cancers of the internet. They were trying to make Bronies angry by posting gore or far enough to go to porn images. But the Bronies only responded with love and tolerance, the thing that they are most well known for today. And that, over there, is a typical 4chan thread. Now the community itself is a very amazing community. It does many amazing pieces of art, like this little piece of art that someone drew for me when I wasn't feeling so happy. There are over 2.5 million DeviantArt accounts with different kinds of pony-related things, from Borderlands to Halo to all kinds of things. Could be just comics, animation, everything. Some of the notable fanfics. Fanfics are fan creations of other IPs, whether they be from Fallout, Twilight, Harry Potter, anything. Some of the most well-known ones is Cat's Fallout Equestria, which is a crossover with Fallout and My Little Pony. Cupcakes, where Pinkie Pie kills a character named Rainbow Dash. And then the other one, the most famous one, is My Little Dashie, which is where a human finds a little version of Rainbow Dash. It has been known, it's most known for making people cry due to the ending. The community has so many notable people, I could probably not name them all. There is Your Beat Brony, DJ Alexis, Living Tombstone, Brony Dance Party, Mike the Microphone, Saber Spark, Mando Pony Acoustic, Rainbow Crash. The list could go on for hours. Fun facts I discovered while researching this topic: there are over 2 million different pieces of DeviantArt. 4chan now has their own thread for ponies, and Equestria Daily, the site for news related to anything, has over 256,347 page views as of yesterday at 11 o'clock. And there are over 1 million different fanfics out there. The most popular are either romance or crossovers. Crossovers are anything involving a crossover with the universe, like Avengers or Harry Potter. Those are some of the more known ones: Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Halo, Mass Effect Nay, and Left 4 Dead Equestria. And those are the sources I used.
Make that decision until the time that you end the life ceases.
Can you pick what organs you want to donate?
Wait, so if I give up my organs,
because I don't want to donate my eyes.
When you're on your last turn.
They'll pick the last $5,000 and
okay, when I
$40,000.
everybody can have my stuff.
I'll donate all my organs but my eyes.
I've always been told I have.
So if I donate a liver or something this week,
right?
I know, because another reason is like when you're dead, you're not gonna use your stuff.
I know,
anyway,
but
so you might as well let somebody else.
When I think about it though,
If you don't have all your organs, that would have to go like you.
I want somebody to make a suit out of me.
Or that's my opinion. I'm it's never said in the Bible that you can't get into heaven without your organs. It's never in the Bible. I'll have to cast out. So, just say.
You want me to move this right here?
There's only one.
You watch a lot of horror movies or something.
You watch horror movies.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like you make a
It
fucking
makes you think of Men in Black.
or whatever you.
That man that was gross with the cat.
Yeah, because when he said that, that's what it reminded me of.
I really want to go home and watch that movie now.
What, Men in Black?
Yeah.
The dude from Law and Order, Criminal Intent.
Might be good.
Oh
Yeah, so, like, that's
I was reading the Bible.
My Little Pony.
I love it.
Next week is our last week, guys.
Huh?
It's our last time together.
I'm sad.
No,
I say we just hold class all day on Saturday. Oh, I just want to inform everyone.
Okay, time to begin.
I'll wait.
Inform us at the end.
I will,
Okay,
yes.
go ahead, Alan.
Hi, my name is Alan Young. Today I'm going to talk to you about Bronies. I should start by explaining what My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is, which is the latest generation of the well-known My Little Pony television series, as well as toy series. You may be wondering, what do I mean by Brony? I mean, typically men, but also women, who are of the adult age, who watch My Little Pony and also enjoy it, in many cases also purchasing the merchandise. As you can see, Friendship is Magic is typically what Brony refers to. Pegasus is the female version of Brony. There's a lot of hate and a lot of disgust that goes on about these people. One of the most popular arguments is it's a kid's show. Why are adults watching a kids television show? It's for kids. It's meant for kids. How could an adult be interested in this TV show? You guys must be gay is another common phrase about this, about Bronies and Pinkie Sisters, mainly because it's not normal. It's a very un-adult-like behavior. 4chan, the website 4chan.com, which some of you may be familiar with, is one website where there's been a lot of hatred toward Bronies and Pinkie Sisters. At one point, posting of pony-related material was also banned from the site, or at least one portion of the site. Also, users from various portions of any other website on the internet, basically annoyed that ponies are being posted, annoyed about the thought of adults watching My Little Pony and as such. Why are Bronies so great? Not that they're great necessarily, but that they do produce some interesting, viable entertainment and material. Fan art, for instance. Art made by people of characters from the show, or even of characters that people design inspired by the show. Music. People who are often making dubstep remixes of songs from the show. Dubstep is basically techno and rap combined in an amazing combination that facilitates orgasm of the ears. Animated music videos, which is basically clips from the show, or any animated show for that matter, arranged in such a way as to facilitate the plot, most often arranged to music. The show. What's so great about the show? And this is where I come to, why are adults interested in the show? One thing, that's a wholesome message. As are most television shows for kids, the show basically promotes friendship, it promotes being nice, it promotes values that are important not only in childhood but later in adult life. It's clean. You will not find any swearing or sexual implications when you type in the show in any episode as it is made and intended. I believe it is for 4 to 11-year-olds. It's at least somewhat mature. You know, most kids' television shows are made for kids, obviously, and as such, they're usually immature. The characters don't have much of a personality, or they have very simple personality, very simplistic, and very childlike. In this show, the characters rather are more like adults, more like people that have more developed personalities, because the shows are more well thought out than typical kid shows. The message is everyone can learn from them. As I mentioned earlier, adults can learn from these messages as well as kids, and are also very important in their life. And if you're thinking, Bronies are not just guys living in their mom's basements who have nothing else to do with their lives. It's also very successful people, and in some cases, people who have money. There's nothing wrong with Bronies. They're not hurting anyone by watching the show. They sit and watch the show. They maybe buy merchandise. They're not going out and murdering people because of the show or anything like that. They're not breaking the law. There's no law against adults watching shows aimed for kids, am I right? They're not doing anything wrong. What's wrong with watching a kid's show? Maybe it's a little bit silly, maybe it's a little bit unusual. There's nothing wrong with it. And most importantly, suddenly we have a mass of adults getting into something good. Not that there's anything wrong with Call of Duty or violent video games, but suddenly we have adults getting into something that's completely devoid of anything evil whatsoever. Don't knock it until you try it. Why hate something if you don't even try it? I mean, if anybody has never watched the show, what business do they have getting on people who watch the show? If they did watch the show, this brings me to my next point: love and tolerate. You know, I don't expect everybody to love Bronies, but I do hope that you guys will tolerate them, because even if you watch the show and you don't like it, you don't think it's something for adults to watch, what does it hurt you if they are watching it? Why not just tolerate them and let them know about their own business? Watching My Little Pony does not make them homosexual, nor is this any indication of homosexuality. Even if it is, it goes back to my love and tolerate. As you can see here, we have the character Rainbow Dash, which is hypothesized by many, mostly haters, to represent the lesbian, gays, bisexual, transsexual community. This is not necessarily the case. This has not been the case indicated by Hasbro, which is the producer of the show. Even if it is, I go back once again, love and tolerate. What's wrong with it? In conclusion, I hope that everybody will at least tolerate watches of My Little Pony. Maybe even try it yourselves. But my main point is that there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with people watching the show. There's nothing wrong with people of adult age watching the show. And there's nothing wrong with the fandom in general. My works cited are The 5 Stages of Brony, a video on YouTube, EquestriaDaily.com, Brony Facebook posts, memebase.com, and personal experience as knowledge. Any questions?
So Brony is just a feeling of being. A Brony is not like this horse name is Brony.
No, Brony refers to people of adult age who
Like a
like
Napoleon.
Yeah.
Next, a brony.
A brony. Right.
It's like a what?
Bro.
A bro.
And pony.
Like, you know how you
Don't get out of here.
That's awesome.
Brony, I'm thinking this one.
I did not know.
I still watch kids.
My mom watches Disney Channel by herself. And
Nice job, Alan.
Thank you. Any
I
other
watch.
questions?
Any more questions for Alan before we move on?
Like I knew of My Little Pony has been around for years.
Yeah.
I had.
Yeah, I didn't know
No.
I didn't know there was a subculture.
I didn't know. Yeah, I know. Like anything to do with that beyond like
I like the
child's
Rainbow
age
one.
or a
What's
TV
his
show.
name? What's the Rainbow one's name?
Okay, Brian W.
I just have one thing to say, that my friend...
So I could have done any kind of show, and I kind of like assumed everyone would go for like a really serious show, so I went the exact opposite and did My Little Pony. So at first, I can't. So first one, Twilight Sparkle. I diagnosed her with paranoid schizophrenia, which is a type of schizophrenia associated with feelings or being. Yeah. Okay. Better? Feelings of being discriminated or plotted against. He or she may also be agitated, angry, argumentative, like almost all. And sometimes violent. And so Twilight always told that something bad can happen in the future, and suddenly is paranoid of every little thing going on, and she's trying to prevent that. And so next one, I also diagnosed her with OCD, anxiety disorder, characterized by recurrent and persistent thoughts and feelings and repetitive ritualized behaviors. Twilight is very organized for every last thing she does. She also has to make a list for it, even if it involves making a list of making a list. So an exception. So her interactions between the characters, her friends take notice of it, but typically ignore it because, the smart one's always kind of weird, so just can't know them. Twilight's strange actions, she usually coincide with other characters' lives and end badly, but in a funny way. Sometimes the disorders get her in trouble, which advances the plot of the show even further. In the treatment plan, I put either antipsychotic, psychotherapy, hospitalization, or even electroconvulsive shock therapy, just because it's always fun to have it. Video what? Oh, no.
Yesterday. There is a 15, negative estimates in the 14th moon. Doing things didn't work. Not doing things didn't work. And I couldn't predict the future either, but I only had one other choice. Monitor everything. That way, no matter what happens in the future, I'll be ready. I thought I saw something last night in the Horse of Nebula, but after staring at it for 3 hours, I realized I was wrong. 3 hours? Well, why did you sleep? Oh, I didn't sleep. I was watching the Peter Party was here. There were 3 days left until next Tuesday. I can put it on my mind. Nearly all of that has come true. It's Tuesday tomorrow, and it's just happened by Tuesday morning, and there's only one solution. I'll just have to stop time.
I didn't think that was the actual show. I didn't think it was the actual show.
It's so real.
So the next one, I got Fluttershy, and some of her names, you can tell she's basically shy. But ironically, for the disorder, I diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder, which is a condition in which people have long-term patterns of unstable and turbulent emotions, such as feelings about themselves and others. These inner experiences often cause them to take impulsive actions and have chaotic relationships. So Fluttershy is not in a relationship, so she still has unstable emotions, which are exposed numerous times throughout the show. A whole episode's plot was based on how insecure she felt and how she overcame it. And the next one was Intermittent Explosiveness disorder. Disorder that involves repeated episodes of impulsive, aggressive, and violent behavior or angry verbal outbursts in which you react grossly out of proportion to the situation. Later, people with this disorder may feel remorse, regret, or embarrassment. And Fluttershy occasionally has these outbursts, which is completely out of character. Every time she has outbursts happen, she is sorrowful for doing it. So the interaction between the characters, she tends to be very shy most of the time, so when she has these sudden mood swings, she produces tons of shocked and scared reactions from her friends. Most of these reactions lead to awkward situations with strangers she meets. And the treatment plan, I put medications such as antidepressants or suicide.
Have you met my dreams? On the dreams bring you little birds or nothing. Who dares touch his neck? You'll be
So the next one, I've got Princess Luna or Nightmare Moon because there are two of them. And so I diagnosed her with dissociative identity disorder. It's a severe form of dissociation, a mental process which produces a lack of connection in a person's thoughts, memories, feelings, actions, systems, and activities. Dissociative identity disorder is thought to stem from trauma experienced by the person with the disorder. Dissociative aspect is thought to be a coping mechanism where a person literally dissociates herself or himself from a situation or experience that is too violent, traumatic, or painful to assimilate with the conscious self. So the story goes, it was like the first episode, that she was banished to the moon for 1,000 years, and so she had like no contact with humans or phones, I think. And so when she came back, apparently they had a whole celebration of her scaring everyone, although she's still on the moon, so see how that happens, which is basically Halloween, rare Halloween. And so when she got back, no one really, everyone was scared. Huh?
Good one coming out in November.
She also speaks with sometimes the Shakespearean vocabulary most of the time. So, and the treatment plan I go for just psychosocial therapy, which is basically interaction with others, so she can get to learn the new arrows.
Remember this day, Brony. Quick with your laugh. From the sweet the night will last forever.
This is basically the entrance of the Halloween. And the last one I chose for Pinkie Pie, like short for Pinkie Pie. Yeah. I diagnosed her with schizophrenia. Yeah. It's a long-term mental disorder of a type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception, inappropriate actions and feelings, withdrawal from reality and personal relationships into fantasy and illusion, and a sense of mental agitation. At least once, Pinkie falls in somewhat schizophrenic state where she hears inanimate things talking to her. They show her personality then shows personifying them with different videos or voices, which also makes her believe that she might also have dissociative identity disorder. So I'm not going to redefine that again because I already defined that last. Really wonderful character to go. In one episode, Pinkie creates new friends out of inanimate objects to cope with the thought that her old friends don't like her anymore. She voices for each one of the objects differently and gives them personalities that vaguely matches the old friend's personality. And I also diagnosed her with hypomania, mild form of mania, marked by elation and hyperactivity. This hypomania is basically right below full mania. And Pinkie Pie is, in a nutshell, the epitome of hyperactivity and joy. It's almost rare to see her mad or bad. So basically, she interacts with the characters. Unlike the other ones, almost everyone notices Pinkie's tendencies to be overly hyper or very unpredictable. Some learn to cope with it, and others try to help her, ultimately failing. She brings the random element to the show and usually works in the situation just by being herself. She is also known to break the fourth wall countless times with the eighth, which adds to the connection between the audience and Pinkie. Treatment plans, either psychotherapy, antipsychotic medication, hypnotherapy, psychosocial treatment, such as social skills and family stuff, and electroconvulsive therapy. Although there's no feel of her being happy, it's bad.
Thank you all so much for coming. It's so much to yummy. Well, you have a book? Well, of course, you have some more time to return it. This is one great fun. You really are fabulous, though. Why, thank you, Rocky. I'm having a delightful time as well. I'm so glad they went so on. Anything for you, Madame the Flowers. I'm just glad none of them ponies showed up. They're not so bad.
Okay. Next week, big shows are as innocent as they appear.